Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones. Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we try to drive ourselves off a cliff, but it doesn't kill us or the film Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I'm Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher. Whoa! Porter.
I'm Mark Campbell, and I don't know what I'm doing here.
Oh.
And I'm Jason. Hi.
Hey, Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Hey, Mark.
Hello, Mark. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to have you both here. Faithful listeners will probably remember you guys from such bonus episodes as A View to a Kill and Star Trek IV, a couple of bonus episodes we did with you guys because you were extremely generous patrons over there at our Patreon show. Over at patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute. And here you are on the regular show because you're great. And because you're great, we're going to shove you off a cliff and see what happens.
It's a real honor. Real honor. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Privilege.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And apologies ahead of time to your listeners.
Yes.
Well, now
Hey,
you
listen.
said you didn't know what you're doing here, but that means you're in the perfect spot.
Right. Join the club.
I'm just glad you're finishing Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. That's great. It's wonderful.
See?
Wonderful for everybody.
We're all,
I'm not sure I agree with that either.
You're testing Pete's patience. But this is minute 89. This one begins with Marion yelling for Indy to get in the duck, and it ends with Indy beginning to tell her to never drive a duck off a cliff onto a tree and then into the water ever again. And yeah, the very, very, very beginning of the first instant of this minute, Marion is yelling, "Jones, get in!" And it made me wonder, how often has Marion called Indy Jones?
Do you think that's
And
the reason why it didn't work out?
Oh, because she doesn't call him Jones enough?
Or that she did.
Or she doesn't yell Jones enough?
She didn't. Yeah, maybe she kept calling him Jones, and that keeps it at a distance. It's not really personal. They couldn't.
That's true. It's not very intimate. Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't consummate their relationship emotionally.
See, I feel like she mostly calls him Indy. Like she goes, "Well, Jones, at least you haven't forgotten how to show a lady a good time." And then when he falls asleep, she's like, "Jones." And those are the only couple of times I can think of when she calls him Jones.
Do any of your
But I'm probably wrong.
spouses
Probably
call
other.
you by your last name?
Every day.
Yeah.
I get a lot of Porterhouse.
Porterhouse?
Now, my wife calls me by her maiden last name. That's weird, though, right?
Oh, that is weird. That's a new level. Yeah. I don't know what that means. I don't know how to help you.
I don't know what we're allowed to say on the podcast, so I'll just keep my mouth shut.
All right. Probably
Don't worry, your
a lot
wife will never listen to this, Mark. Ever, ever.
You were correct, sir.
Well, so Tommy, wait a minute. So now, does Marion say Jones? Because I thought that was maybe Mac, and sort of saying Jonesy. I think he begins a Jonesy from last week, and it kind of crosses over to a Jonesy here.
He does, but I think Marion does too.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
see
so
her
it's
yell it. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
she
chorus of it. So my question is, for anyone who would be happy to pick up the fumble and run with the ball, so right now, is Mac wanting Indiana Jones to get into the vehicle because he's on the same side as them, and he's very like, "Come on, Jones, I'm saving your life. Quick, get in."
No, I think it's going to come out in about 10 seconds that Indy is his dad. And so he wants his dad to get into the duck.
You know what? I know what you're talking about.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get there.
All right. Maybe we'll get there. I don't know. All right. Wait, I actually have a question that's just occurring to me right now.
Yeah.
Why? We see the Russians in the end of the last minute. We saw the remaining Russians, which, as far as I can tell, is just one Jeep full of them.
Right.
And they're about to start scaling down the side of the cliff. So what is the huge rush with Marion and Indy and everybody? Like, what are they rushing to or
Why
from,
don't they
or...
just drive the other direction?
That's true.
Yeah.
There's that beautiful close up of the wheels squishing the ants and
Yeah.
ant guts hitting the camera lens. And if they're driving over the ants, why didn't they just kind of turn around and hot tail it the other way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Wait, do
skull
they even
keeps
know
them
where they're
away
going
anyway.
at this point?
At this point, the whole thing is a cannonball run to Akator.
Right.
Except
That's
I don't think
how-
anyone knows where Akator is, except
No,
Yeah.
but that's how this feels, because Indy picks up Ox and he starts running towards the cliff, and I'm thinking, okay, so I mean, is he walking to Akator?
I guess
Is that-
Oxley did before.
Is
didn't he, or
that what
something?
Yeah.
that what's going on? Like the Russians are rushing there. At least it's sort of intrinsic to their name. Maybe they don't know how to walk.
See, it
Mm-hmm.
took me a long time to figure out what the Russians were doing here, and I had to read the script to figure it out.
What
Oh,
are they
good for
doing?
you.
They're escaping the ants.
Oh.
Yeah, they're escaping
that's
the
it?
ants.
I
Okay.
didn't get that. I thought they were
Me neither.
like they were
Yeah.
pre-chasing after Marion, knowing that she was going to do that. I didn't know what they were doing. I couldn't.
Or
figure
they're
it
all
out.
just like, it seemed like they were maybe just like, okay, we're still on our way to Akator. We're gonna get there any way we can.
We're
gonna
going to
scale this
ditch the
cliff and
vehicle
just-
and
Yeah.
climb down a
Right.
cliff. Yeah,
yeah.
But Indy has the skull, and so he's got the perfect ollie ollie all come free. He can do that all he wants, and no ant is going to come near him. So the first thing he does with Ox and the skull, he picks up. He has both of them and walks to the cliff where the Russians are.
yeah.
Maybe he
quote,
thinks it'll
get away
repel
from
Russians too.
like.
He hops in the Jeep. Or the
Yeah.
duck.
Well, but no, before the duck comes, he's actually already in motion going.
Yeah.
The ants are behind him? They are
But
Yeah.
they're
perhaps
lemmings?
a very, very not well-known fact about ants. I mean, maybe nobody knows this. Is that they can crawl up and down walls like vertical
ropes.
surfaces. Yes, and ropes.
Yeah.
They can even make their own ropes in the scene previous. So I'm not
They
sure.
don't really care about up and down so much.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't get the Russians escaping the ants via rope. That seems more dangerous, doesn't it? Because they just climb
Yeah.
down a rope.
Yeah,
I
then
think
they
it
just,
was-
that's-
Didn't they just arrive?
I think they just arrived. They're late to the party.
Yeah.
Well, I think
they
it's-
arrive.
It's the Russian rappelling club. They just happen to be in the area.
She
That
was
was
right
the
to bring
Jeep
them
with all the
along.
rope. They luckily were the ones to get there.
they remind me of the Chicago cops and all the like the SWAT team and the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
They're just like
yeah.
super eager.
I have an incredibly nerdy comment to make, and you're all just gonna look at me funny. And I should have realized this minutes ago when the ants first showed up. But the sound of the ants, there's a sound underlying every time you see the ants. It's kind of like
Yeah.
sound, and it sounds just like the Xanti Misfits from the Outer Limits. If anybody has seen,
I remember that one.
episode. Yeah,
Ants
with those
wow.
super
Ants with the
creepy
human faces, right?
Oh, exactly. It's
Oh.
legitimately creepy, and they make this exact sound. It's kind of sound.
Well, that totally
And I-
fits if they did use that sound effect because it's supposed to be like a 50s sci-fi
Yeah,
adventure. So
I kind of
Yeah.
want to think that was intentional. Yeah.
Can I bring something else up that's legitimately creepy?
Yes.
Mac calls Marion mom.
Mom.
Oh, she
I
did-
knew it.
Okay,
I
I
was
knew.
right on there.
Well,
I have
whoa.
no idea what's
No,
going on
yes,
here.
that
But
I
he,
know.
No
yeah.
idea, right?
Mark, Jason, this is how it works. You let them go with it for a few minutes. They have their, they've made their connection, but then in the back of your
No,
head, you
Pete,
kind of know what's
Pete,
going
I'm,
on.
I'm sticking
you
with
just
them,
wanna-
backing them up. Mac calls Mary like
He very clearly says,
Yeah.
"Mom, slow down."
Is that a British thing though? Like
It is.
dressing an older or a respectable woman as a mom? or
Oh
something?
wait, you mean he said
says
mum?
mum.
Mum.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
That's silly.
Because he was in the script. They took this out, but he was just ogling her and like making
Oh.
lascivious comments about her a few minutes ago.
Mommy.
Whoa.
Which
He's
makes
dropping the Mac, huh?
the mum
Uh-huh.
seem like maybe that's not what he's saying.
Yeah, I think it's a
I
polite
think
thing.
he's
it's
I
a
think he's her
respectful
son.
thing.
I think he's the
Oh,
older
I'm sorry.
son.
Yeah, he's your
Yeah.
son. That's what I meant to
He's
say.
yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's canon.
Yep. Everybody mark down
You
your
know what
scorecards.
sucks that is especially noticeable in this movie, and I never thought about it until I started doing this dumbass podcast. You guys always talk about like sort of what is it like overdub, where there's a scene and they what do they call it? Where it's like
Is it
they
bad
over,
ADR?
ADR.
ADR, exactly.
yeah.
I swear, as just a regular guy who eats snow caps going into a movie theater and pays no attention to like who the key grip is or where it was filmed or any, you're just there to have fun. It's like I'm so aware of the ADR that
Mhm.
goes on. And Pete, I think that's what this mum business is or something. I don't know. I don't
could
know
be.
what it is. It's like there's so much of that is noticeable in this movie where it's just like mouths moving and you just hear stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
Spelka
see
doing
a Ray Winston in the booth for a day just yelling "Mum, Jonesy."
Yeah.
a lot of fun
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically half his dialogue, right? Just Mum and Jonesy. In different cadences.
I'm not conceding the mum thing yet, but
I know.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
None of this looks real. Like when they rappel from the cliff
Yeah.
and there's this beautiful, beautiful scenery. It looks like what's the famous school of art, the American school?
oh, like the romanticists.
Yes, it
Yeah.
looks like they just
yeah.
jumped into
Yeah.
one of
sure,
those
yeah.
like
Yeah.
romantic paintings
Yeah.
of like the 18th or 19th century. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is, but it's kind of like they went to one of the galleries at the Getty and they jumped in the painting and they started filming.
Yeah. I feel like a bad podcaster because we've been complaining about this and commenting on this from the very beginning, and I have not yet looked up to see. Like I have the Rinsler book right over here, the complete making of Indiana Jones, and I haven't looked up to see evidence of like, oh, did they actually go outside to film any of this, or is this like clearly just like on a stage somewhere and there's like big electric lights and stuff? And
No, I think
Nothing
it
looks
looks
natural or outside. I mean,
right,
but
right.
I've seen behind the scene photos of like the jungle. Like it looks like they're in a jungle, possibly.
They filmed
behind
a
the
lot of it
scenes.
in Hawaii.
Well,
Oh,
you could
right,
have fooled
that's
me.
right.
Yeah. No, I know. They did.
Not
fool
all of
you.
it.
Yeah.
You ever take like if you have like an iPhone and you take a picture and you start toying with that, you're like, oh, I can edit it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
You're
doing, like,
brightness.
HDR and-
Whoa.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
like vibrancy. What does that do?
Yeah.
Like you take it to
I'm
30.
an artist.
That's what this
Yeah.
looks like. It looks
This
like
movie had-
somebody.
this movie had a lot of color correction in the post. You can tell right away.
I mean, does that account for all of that kind of stuff? Because, like, okay, so as we're recording this, the preview for the trailer for West Side Story came out sort of recently, and there's shots in that. That's also Janusz Kaminski, and there's shots in that look just like this movie in the ways that are bugging us. That are like just this kind of like extreme kind of fakey light, and you can't tell if they're really outside or not. And I can't. So now I'm okay. Is that just his style, or is it?
You're speaking for us, and I don't think you should be here, Tom, because those did not at all. I thought those looked lovely in the West Side Story trailer.
I don't know. I don't think they look bad. I just think it's such a, because it looks like Crystal Skull, which does bug me. And I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe that's his. Maybe he's going for that. He's manipulating things to make it look the way we're seeing it. I mean, obviously that's his job, but is it totally that, or is it like the limitations of like all the stagey, fakey stuff they're doing and CGI backgrounds and stuff, or what is it?
I think it is 100% intentional.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't have to like it, but I kind of
it
accept
looks
it.
affected because they're trying to capture a mood that's either like ethereal or like otherworldly or something. Is
Yeah.
that like Elysian Fields? I mean, something like that.
But I
Yeah.
feel like that. I think I agree, but I feel like that doesn't really fit in with the Indiana Jones franchise.
And the whole movie
Mhm.
looks like this too. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
even when he's at the college, it looks like this.
Yeah.
Well, no,
Yeah,
it's
back
only
in
you
the
have a
desert,
choice.
Nevada.
It's 7:30 a.m. or 4:45 p.m. It's like throughout the whole
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, or you're under a tanning light from
Yeah.
the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, and to the point that some of this might have been filmed on location, there could be situations where the truck is outside. Those are real trees off to the right, but there could be giant green screens everywhere else, and they just
Yeah.
fill it all in.
Yeah.
So yeah, the look of this movie really bugged me when it came out. But thinking about it, I don't watch a lot of superhero stuff these days or heavy special effects laden films.
Mm-hmm.
But is this movie any worse in that regard than, say, one of the Avengers films? Like, are the backgrounds as unrealistic as they are here, and it's only because this is Indiana Jones and we've seen him on location 3 movies in a row, and now they do this?
That is a really good question and a really good point, because there are a lot I do notice, and not just Marvel movies, but like all kinds of movies. You'd think they would have mastered, like, just I have a real person on a stage here and I'm going to put it in a fake background, whatever, whether that's like
But-
rear projection or CGI or whatever. There's sometimes it looks fantastic and you don't even notice it, and other times it does look kind of, oh, there's a lamp over that guy's head that's supposed to be the sun, and it
Mhm.
just looks weird,
But those
and it
movies
doesn't
are
look like
supposed to
he's in
have
the picture.
like a
Yeah.
magical Earth. Like they're not on our Earth in a lot of those. They're on like a magical version of Earth. But Indy
guess
is
so, but then,
kind of
like, if
supposed
you're
to be
like
on
in,
our Earth.
yeah.
Well, this, I
It
mean,
is-
when we think of Raiders, of course, it feels gritty. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I know that maybe like the sky in Cairo was beautifully blue. I don't know, but it's just
Yeah.
this is a very different treatment. It's just a different. I don't know. It's just a different
But
treatment.
I feel like this is a much better movie than the Star Wars prequels, or at least in my opinion. Like I like this. At least I enjoyed it a lot more. But I feel like
Yeah.
it does a similar thing. Like the original was gritty and dark and edgy, and then they moved to this like really processed, saturate, like this just crazy color palette, kind of surreality look.
Yeah.
Could he be going for, and you know, this is somewhat typical Janusz Kaminski, but could he be going for a sort of Technicolor John Ford look with the really heavily saturated colors everywhere here?
Maybe. And there are parts that kind of like, you know, the desert in the beginning kind of has a little of that. That kind
Yeah.
of has that kind of like really just kind of in your face color and everything and brightness.
And I feel like we've
Um,
pointed out that a lot of the shots are gorgeous. And
Yeah.
I feel like they would look amazing in other movies. I just,
Yeah.
they don't seem to
Yeah.
fit the rest of these movies. And I mean, that's not necessarily bad, like if you're going in new directions, but it seems like such a departure.
Yeah, I recall, the lead up to this movie coming out and reading how Kaminsky was, referencing Douglas Slocum's cinematography to match it for the other films, and then seeing it, I was like, no, he didn't.
right. It's like a thing like it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah. It's some beautiful shots. It's the American school.
I also
Gorgeous.
think that the a lot of the cinematography choices also, and lighting choices a lot, which is put in post, sun flares and all that, is masking the effects work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It feels like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Pay no attention to that seam behind the light.
Well, I know, like Rinsler specifically, and I mean, our heart goes out to his family because he passed away recently.
Yeah.
But when he was talking to us last time, he was saying one of the things he was excited about about why he wanted to be on at the end of the movie was that this was the one movie he worked on with Lucasfilm, and he specifically said that they didn't finish a lot of the special effects.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't finish. Yeah. It just,
Which that's really fascinating. I mean, putting out a movie where you haven't finished the special effects. I mean, I wonder who makes that decision.
Probably the
You
studio
know what I mean?
that has a release date.
Is it,
that-
well, yeah, they
you
just
have
like,
to make
look,
it
it's
time.
it's whenever I can't remember. Was
Pencils
this
down.
Christmas? Yeah, pencils down.
Yeah.
Pete, I have a question for you
uh-huh.
because you quote read the script. Did
Is
So-
that against the script or against Pete?
I think both.
whatever. It's a
Yeah.
grab bag.
It just, yeah.
Pete can't read.
Did Marion mean to land on the tree? Like, did she drive off the cliff?
Yeah, she did.
And was she like, I'm going to drive off and go about 20 feet, and then the tree is going to catch my fall. and it's going to bend down into the water. Okay.
That's actually called out in the script because you see
is.
her eyeing it in the previous scene in the script. It
The
says she's
tree,
And in the
looking at
movie.
something.
In the movie,
Showed
too, you
a
see
few
her.
minutes
She's
ago.
yeah, she scopes
Yeah.
out the area.
All right.
about
But I'll
3,
tell you-
3 minutes ago.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what's not in the script is the sound designer from the Roadrunner show. Is the sound that the tree makes when it bounces back up is literally right straight out of a Roadrunner cartoon.
That is.
Yeah.
He holds a sign up that
Yipes.
says "Yipe."
Yeah.
I actually was thinking it was Ted Stryker bouncing back onto the dance floor in Airplane.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, okay, and I'm happy for Marion to have her hero moment and to, be the savior of the day, and
This
she's
is
got her actiony fun and everything.
dumb
But why
hero
doesn't
moment.
she tell everybody? Why doesn't she just say like, no, there's a tree. I saw it 3 minutes ago.
I figured this
And
out.
it's going to be cool.
Now, this
Don't
is the
worry.
type. I mean, are you going to marry this person who behaves this kind of way? Where you go, hey, what are you gonna? Hey, look out, Mom! There's a cliff. Don't. Are you gonna? It's like, are we? We always blame Indy on this, but
Right.
she doesn't tell anybody. I mean, can you imagine what
Yeah.
it's like going to the store with her? You
Right.
see a light turn yellow, and you're like, hey, there's a yellow light. There's a 4-way intersection. What are you doing? And you see her speed up.
You know what?
Yeah.
I will say, Gerald, we both know you like very well. And I would say we do know what that's
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
true.
saying, why is? I mean, is it?
We're lucky to be
It's
alive.
rather cruel.
And she
To
has
not
the
tell these
smuggest look
people.
on her face after that.
Yeah,
too.
she does. Yeah.
Well, this is all about, these guys don't trust me. They don't trust me, so I'm going to, hold their face over the flame. And then, pull it away the second, right when they're about to catch on fire.
But is that true though? Do they not trust her? Does Indy or Mudd
why
or any
is
of them
she-
not trust her?
She's
That's not brought up in the
asserting,
script, at least.
like she's asserting her dominance here.
And she says,
Oh.
trust me.
Yeah,
But she
she's-
could do that by saying, no, I've got this all figured out. I have a plan. I'm in control of everything. There's a tree right there. We're going to land on the tree and it will lower us gently into the water.
You know how
And
much that would
everything's gonna
suck
be
in the
fine.
script, though? She's like, it's okay. There's a tree coming up and I'm going to go off the cliff in a certain
Well.
parabolic shape and we'll be just fine.
They painted themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, think of the family dynamics. You have Indy going like, "What are you doing?" You got the kid
Yeah.
going, "Mom!" screaming bloody murder, and you got
Yeah.
Indy going, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Wait, was that Mac scream? Is it Mac the kid? or is
Yeah,
it
I have
Mutt
Mac the kid
Oh, God.
screaming. And so it's just,
Yeah.
and she does. You're like, this is the tension that would create on.
Why are you cooking with cream? You know I'm lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Exactly. Tuesday's recycling day. What do you?
Trust me. I'm going to try that actually from now on.
You
I'm
should
going to do whatever I want, like
Yeah.
possibly screwing people up in the process. Just trust me.
I feel like my reaction to all of this is the fake Wilhelm scream we get from one of the Russians falling off.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess I kind of like that they don't do the Wilhelm for that. Like
Yeah.
we're, by this point we're getting really used to it, and we know it's going to be.
Yeah,
and they've
that's
used it
true.
in the movie already, and they showed
Yeah.
the guy's face. They showed the guy who was doing it. I didn't like that. That was weird.
are you in the library?
Yeah,
Is that the
was
first library Wilhelm?
yeah, no Wilhelms in the library, please.
I have a question. Is this the most Dr. Seussy tree in all of the indie movies?
Yeah,
Great question.
I think so. How many
Yes.
Who's died in this shot when it hit the cliff? How many millions of them? I do get I'll say something positive. I get a very satisfying and also kind of creeped out 30s original King Kong vibe watching those guys get whacked by the tree and fall off
Yeah.
the cliff. There's something
Yeah.
about those tiny
That's cool.
in the distant bodies falling a great height out in the jungle that
Yeah.
takes me back to a kid watching that movie.
Now,
Yeah.
now
Let's talk about
my-
King Kong instead.
Yeah.
Now,
Shaking
my-
them off
my
that log, that's
question-
terrifying. They fall to their death.
do they die because there's a big splash in the water?
Nobody dies in this movie. I think Dovchenko is underground having tea with the ants. I don't think anybody dies in this movie.
Yeah, they've come to an understanding. I mean, they don't show it, and that's kind of, yeah. And in Raiders, it would have been like 5 minutes of them landing in slow motion and stuff. But I think they're pretty dead.
Okay.
I have a sound design question. After she accelerates off the branches, I guess the tires spinning in the water will get the thing going.
Sure.
It makes this sort of thing as if it's kind of plucking or scraping cables as it descends into the water. Did anybody hear that?
I heard that.
Yeah, I had no idea what that was.
I kind of took it as sort of like a, it sounds like a tube filling with water underwater or something, like a kind of a
propeller starting or something.
I don't know, or just like the duck adjusting to being in the water, like maybe it's taking on some water. I don't know, but it's kind of a satisfying sound. I kind of liked it.
I literally thought that was just
weird.
the tree making the creaking sound, but maybe it is the duck.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Can we just, Pete? About 5 minutes ago, you interrupted Tom when he started to talk about this, and it was really great.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you hardly interrupt anybody at all, but you just couldn't do. You're like the tree, and what did you say? Go ahead. What did you say?
I have no idea. It wasn't.
No, you go,
do it, Pete. Do it.
Do it, Pete. No, Tommy was trying. He goes,
thing.
There's a thing, and you go, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. It is. This whole thing is like Family Misadventures, Land of the Lost.
It's getting very Land of the Lost.
This is the part of the movie that loses me. Like I feel like I enjoy the movie. I think the movie has a lot of good things about it. It's fine. It's not as good as the other ones, but I think it's not nearly as bad as I thought it used to be. But this scene, like all of the indie movies take place on Earth, and they have some sort of weirdness, but they're generally not that far outside of the realm of, okay, maybe with a little supernatural help or maybe a little something. But this waterfall business is just like, it just takes it into the realm of like a Marvel movie.
It's very sitcom antics too.
It's
and
no one
is taking it seriously at all.
No. No.
Yeah.
I would say
no. Yeah. I disagree. Actually, I think Janos is taking it seriously, and I think he wishes he were like on the set of The Mission, because there's some really gorgeous photography coming up. But I think the rest of the crew isn't.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we're creeping into the next minutes now.
Oh boy.
Indy chews out Marion for doing her own thing and playing Indiana Jones for a second. He doesn't cotton to that. And that's kind of it for the minute, right? For minute 89?
Is that
unless something's coming in over the wire or something? I don't know.
Yes. Coming in over the wire. This just in repelling over the wire.
Yeah.
Boing.
What other music would work to score this? You can only pick one instrument.
Yakety sax?
Banjo.
Banjo would be pretty good.
Did you say yakety sax?
I did.
Is that an instrument?
What's the circus one?
Just an organ grinder. There you go.
Yeah.
How about like a slide whistle?
Or just a tuba. A big old tuba. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
What about like a whoopee cushion?
Sure, that counts. Kind of jaw harp thing.
One of those whistles that goes woo!
I think this might be Vuvuzela territory too.
Oh, maybe.
Oh boy.
Well,
we kind of fricasseed this minute.
Well, look, this was fun enough that I can only assume that you guys would like to come back next week. We only just got in the water.
Yeah, I won't move. I'm just going to stay here until next week rolls around.
Then beautiful. Oh, I should ask you, do you guys have anything that you'd like people to know about or plug or anything?
Like about us personally?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. What are you into? What do you like?
Yeah. What are you into?
Well, I actually, back to King Kong, I showed my 2-year-old the original King Kong a couple weeks ago, and he loved it. So it still holds up. Yeah.
Nice.
That's great.
I just watched that again recently for the
It's
first
great.
time in
It's a lot of fun.
decades. It's really good. Yeah, it still creeps me
Don't
out.
you wind up feeling sad for King Kong?
That's the whole point,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's
Yeah,
the point, Jerry.
Right? Oh, all right.
It's
No
not a
wonder
big
I ever
monster.
watched it again.
It's too
Bummed
sad.
me out. It's
Yeah,
like the
it's too
Elephant
close to
Man or
home.
something.
Yeah.
Why am I
See?
watching this?
You think all black and white movies are either King Kong or the Elephant Man?
I went to a showing of King Kong at the Castro Theater a long time ago, and Fay Ray was there.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
It was super creepy because like all these old guys were coming up to her, like touching her, like it was like
Ew.
putting their arms around her and stuff.
That was my chance. After all these years.
They all wanted to play out King Kong.
Yeah, she's
Ew.
93 years old. I've been waiting.
Kill my beast. Oh, boy. Well, on that note, we'll get you guys back here next week, and we hope to get all of you back here next week for minute 90 of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yay!
Right here on the Indiana Jones Minute. Yay!
Woo!
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.